Good evening, immortal souls and bound spirits, and welcome to a weapon-tastic, playerless episode of Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip, and I am the Dreadmaster for this game, all by myself. Here on this relatively cool-ish night, perhaps not a cold winter night any longer, but it has been a cold time here in Los Angeles, although it will be warming up soon, I've been told. I was wondering if people would be able to, I know that you certainly can probably see more of my Legos than you typically can. And just Maisie over my corner as well there, or over my shoulder. I would say how are we doing tonight, but all my players are gone, for I am ensconced by no one. There's no one here ensconcing me. I'm just zoomed bigger, I suppose. How are you all doing out there in the world of chat? And I think we have a few people in chat here tonight. Hello. No ensconcing, sadly, but so tonight's game is going to be focusing on everyone's favorite sort of troublesome individual who keeps getting into some real pickles. That poor soldier of fortune. If anyone's joining us and not chatting, which is of course totally fine, yes, we're doing a no player episode here. So we're focusing on an NPC. This is because basically I had 5 of 7 players were like had conflicts tonight, even though we have 7 right now, and then the other 2 were like, oh, a night off sounds good. So this seemed like a good opportunity to do this. The dread clock stands at the hour of 12. So unless there's a rare opportunity that there won't be a single queen tonight, we won't have that many draws. But it is very likely we'll be having some kind of dreadstorm, throwing everything into a tizzy. I've crafted some plans here, but it will largely just be what the cards tell us. Speaking of which, I'm going to deal the cards out, but I'm doing this in a different way than we have been up to this point. Basically, the Soldier of Fortune will be getting a hand, and that hand will be face up, and I will be revealing that to everyone viewing. But other important NPCs who may or may not arise will also be getting a hand. Outside of that, I will simply be drawing randomly. The Dreadstorm will hit only me. That's kind of the Soldier of Fortune will be hoisted on my own troubles here, basically. So we're gonna go ahead and get the hand dealt out. I think that what I'm gonna do here, I think this is kind of to try to mix this up and be a little more SOF centric tonight, like we need any more of that. I think that I'm going to have his hand face up, but the other hands will be face down, and I'm going to play them sort of dumb, so they won't, they're kind of like dummy hands where we won't, the other NPCs will simply do whatever they draw from the hands that have been pre-dealt from them. We won't sort of see what they are. They'll be sort of blind plays. So, I'm going to deal 5 hands based on factors. However, anyone in chat, if you would like to, pick a number between 1 and 5, and that will be the Soldier of Fortune's hand. And if not, I can just pick 4. I'm just counting 4. Weirdly, I just picked up hand 4. Alright, so the Soldier of Fortune's hand is as follows. I will see this when I'm looking at my screen here with you for the first time. Wow! That is good, friends. That is a very good hand for the Soldier of Fortune. That is 2 kings, which are sort of the highest consequence free cards you can get. He also has a nice jack in spades and a 6 in spades. Spades tends to be his, well, I take that back. Spades would be his best thing. I'll go ahead and put this into, I was thinking I would put this into chat. Here is the Soldier of Fortune's character sheet, if anyone would like to see it. I believe this is a thing where like you guys can just look at this, but won't be able to edit it or anything. At least I think you won't be able to edit it. But there it is, and you'll notice if you click on that. Hello, Galanorian Saber, and welcome. We have not even done the recap yet, so you are great. We just, however, did deal out the Soldier of Fortune's hand, and it is a beaut. That's what he has. The question, though, is what do any of our other foes have underneath any of these other NPCs? So this will be face up. I should have gotten like a little receipt holder or something just so I could hold this up, and I'll hold this up at any time to show you guys what he has in hand. But the fact that he's got those two kings, that's a great scenario. There are 4 other hands here for various other figures, and those are just going to be sort of dummy drawn, blind drawn, and then there also is, of course, the full deck with the soldier could always draw from if he chose to. So, wow, fun times. That's really great. For those of you who are, I'll do a quick sort of explanation of, we are doing this deck of dread system where an ace is a 1, 2 through 10 are their faces, jack is 11, king is 12, and a queen is 13, but also, being 13, causes a dreadstorm. Or it causes a 13 to potentially have either a horror surge, and if we get one more, we will be in a dreadstorm we are already at 12, so it is more than likely that unless we just barely draw anything and it's a real talky game with me and myself, the Soldier of Fortune will probably be having to ride out a dreadstorm as a sword. And who knows who can come pick him up after that. So let's talk a little bit about sort of his journey. The Soldier of Fortune is, of course, one of the Mist Walkers. He was involved in the breaking of the mists, albeit not really... he ultimately, I think, was kind of, his Soldier of Fortune, unlike many of the others, was never a strictly dedicated agent. Though he wound up becoming one of the Mistbreakers, he was coerced into it by the photographer, Dreadlord of Voluptua. So he wound up then helping the Mistwalkers, the Mistbreakers rather, and they were victorious kind of through, he basically sort of, had sort of positioned Alvin Theodore to do what he did, and it worked out in his favor. Since that time, however, things kind of complicated for him when he, on a roll of a 1 on a D13, which is typically just how I do sort of NPCs, since we do so many different systems, he became utterly in love with and enamored of Medina Lake, and swore that he would do whatever he could to protect her. He told the Boxer, one of his erstwhile allies from this sort of like the mist-breaking alliance of the Pearl Time, I need you to go and you have to protect her because I'm going to go and find something so she can research dread and be safe, and then maybe I can get it in. And as he sort of went through this horrifying process, he ventured to Ignador, meeting up with Haddifjord. They entered the land through the Mist Gate. It was revealed that the Soldier of Fortune, in his sort of, not even true form, but in Ignador they want things a little more traditional, kind of fantasy, he turned into this like sort of elven, elf-blooded, shadow elf, gray-skinned, sort of warrior, kind of barbarian-looking guy. And Hattie was like, your girl probably would like that a lot if you looked like that. And he's like, good to know, thank you. Then he sort of sold Hattie out. And then he, in turn, got sold out because he tried to convince the Lich Queen Visibadiroth to help him, even though he'd, gone against her in this whole war and broken the mist. And he sort of invoked the idea of love, hoping she'd understand, which was a dumb thing, blinded by his feelings for Medina. He was killed by the bounty hunter, but his sword was close enough by that he was able to have his soul sucked into it, which is his insurance policy. He, of course, knows that, the peddler often has some shadow elf blood, very rare substance, and thus could just revive him with that. So he's like, whatever, my allies have stuff, I'll be fine. So he was in the sword, went off with Hattie. They met back up with Alvin Theodore, now a stone man. They met up with Elowin and her crew. They left the Tower of Ire Vergazity on a mission. One, to destroy the Lich Queen, was the sort of secret mission. And then they visited the Goblin Witch in the marshes. And the Goblin Witch said, well, you'll need a weapon to kill the Lich Queen, and you'll have to trade me a great weapon in order to receive that. And the Soldier of Fortune said, no. And they said, okay, we don't want to. And Hattie intended on going back on the deal and stealing him back, but she was unable to do so. The Goblin Witch, granting Alvin a sword of stone, took the Soldier of Fortune, sans scabbard, and hopped away on her frog-legged cabin deeper into the marshes, where many goblins and Gardevoir and other hunters are out there looking for the questing beast. A thing that is considered by Elowen to be a colossal waste of time, as it just kind of is a thing you just look for forever and never find. So, with that, the Soldier of Fortune has been sent jumping into the sky. And at this time, I will read the invocation for Chapter 135 of Blood from a Stone, A Tale of Love and Dread in RPG. Side note, I kind of am sad some of the players aren't here, because it's one some of them would recognize. Perhaps I'll do another thing from this source text at some point. Oh, war is the common cry. Pick up your swords and fly. The sky is filled with good and bad that mortals never know. Oh, well, the night is long, the beads of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise, waiting for the eastern glow. All right, so. The house hops, skips, jumps a couple more times, and eventually lands somewhere. The Soldier of Fortune, being a sentient sword within the soldier's soul, the name of this weapon, is able to sort of have... He has visual and auditory senses. Oh, and anyone who came in late and cares, please note that in chat... Can you see older chats? Actually, this is the thing I don't know about. This is the thing I genuinely don't know about Twitch. Can you see chats that came before you signed in? Will I need to keep sort of sharing this link periodically? That is... Oh, you can. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's a link in case you want to look at the Soldier of Fortune's character sheet as we go. He has... You'll if you do so, you will notice that under his vitality, his listen and look still function, but sadly, as a sword, he cannot smell, taste... Actually, you know what? I'm going to say... I'm changing something right now. He probably can't feel. He doesn't have, like, good feeling abilities, but he can... He has some sense of touch. I'm gonna let him use that if it's ever applicable. So, here in the Goblin Witch's cottage, the Soldier of Fortune is kind of, on the floor. He has just told her his name. He has just said, I am the Soldier of Fortune. Or rather, to be more specific, his lack of name. She has cackled into the night. And now, she goes to the window and looks out and says,
A storm. A storm has fallen, a dread storm indeed. And yet, Soldier of Fortune, soldier's soul in a sword. More weather is a-brewing, heavy weather, dreadful purple clouds. The perfect time and the perfect backdrop. For magic, for dark deeds, and dread spells, isn't it?
The soldier kind of, sighs, though he doesn't have lungs, and says, what do you want? And if you're thinking of doing anything stupid, I would urge you to think again.
Oh, think again. Think again I will. Many thoughts I've had. Yeah, thoughts of a moment like this. But a gift for you I have as well. Yes, a gift indeed. Something you want there is. Something you require.
She sort of goes over and begins sort of pulling various bottles and little bundles of herbs and components and things, and in appropriate fashion, she pours a couple of thick liquids into a cauldron and lights a fire under it with a snap of her long goblin-clawed hands.
Yes. In the cauldron. In the cauldron, many precious things will go. For a precious chance I have here, don't I?
Oh, stop speaking in riddles. If you're looking for someone to sell me to, I would urge you not...
Oh, so you know, much too precious you are for a sale. No, not money I want. Not money. It's all the riches I can get.
She sort of pats that little pouch on her belt where they previously gave her a gold, so she would put, frogs into people's pants and throats.
She says, no. Something far more precious you represent. Yes. You could. A tactician's mind you have. Is this not true?
Yes, it is true. So what, you're gonna give me to some goblin savior?
Indeed. To a goblin I shall give you. For we have sent your old friends on a quest, have we not?
That was all them, and it was a stupid...
Yes, but a quest now destined to succeed. The Lich Queen will die. It is now certain. Though if your friends will survive the attempt is up to the winds. But no, brave Mistwalker. When that happens, the reign of the Liches will be over. Who knows what Dreadlord will arise in their place? Would it be another Lich, or will it be something else? What might the Dark Powers have in store for us? Who waits in the wings to be the next Dreadlord? And what place will the goblins have? A higher place than we've had now, I dare wager.
She begins sort of mixing various things in this cauldron. The Soldier of Fortune. This is the soldier's current hand. I'm going to say, largely for strategic reasons, I'm going to have the Soldier of Fortune spend his 2 to give himself a 4 in look, which is not great. Basically, he probably won't see any specific component that she's putting in, but he'll know that she's she's going pretty deep back. She's pulling out some unusual things even with a 4. So I'm discarding this card, but he does get to replace it with, a bit of an improvement, a 9. All right, so, wow, great. So my guy has at least one of every suit, 3 of them face cards. Well done. The Goblin Witch, however, she herself is going to make a draw in terms of what she's doing. So I'm going to do a card. I'm just going to do the top card of this. A 10, however, it is not, she casts with her intellect, not her will. So, though she will have, I guess, that will get her to a 14, which will be a big success. She does not get to replace that, so she is now shorthanded with only 4 cards left. Nevertheless, which, honestly, what's the difference? We're drawing blind. Who cares? However, she begins to sort of cast a spell, and the soldier says, so in other words, your plan is to make me the servant of some goblin and think that I'll care enough about war to be helpful. That's a really stupid plan. You know, even diminished as I am, you have to understand that you can't control me. I'm a Mistwalker. I will go where I want to go. I will whisper in the ear of whatever little swamp warrior you assign me to. You have to know this won't work. and it'll just be a waste of all of our time. So why don't you instead... I'll tell you what, I will give you good counsel. Hell, I'll even do some warring for you. I have the stomach for it. But first, you need to get me to one of my allies. One of the other Mistwalkers who are on my side. They'll be able to... The peddler. Can you...
The peddler I've met. The peddler I've met indeed. Peddler I've met long ago. An ally of yours she is. Always good things for sale.
Yeah, good things for sale, and something, in fact, that could get me out of my predicament.
Your predicament. Your incarceration. Albeit one that you initiated yourself. Stuck in your sword you are. You're so clever. When killed your soul into your own weapon it goes, eh? Your sword, or your gun, or your axe, or whatever form it takes, wherever it takes it.
Listen, I can pay you.
Payment I said I do not want. What I want is what is in your mind, and I want it on behalf of goblins. I want the goblins. In whatever comes next. Oh, my little grandbabies. To have a better life. The better life they shall have. Yes, indeed. But I do not mean, soldier, to simply hand you over to some would-be warlord. No. Far wiser I am than that. You see, soldier,
she is now stirring her cauldron. The soldier can kind of see her from his odd position. Kind of, I would imagine that the soldier's view is this very kind of like wide angle, warped, you know. He kind of always sees everything, but kind of unless he's directly tilted at something. Where it's, you know, presumably it would be the blade that... No, I guess that, you know what, it would probably be... I don't know where it's located. I don't care. The point is, he's seeing this all in a kind of like weird, wide angle, uncertain way. As she's sort of cackling.
No, soldier, not at all. You need to have stakes in the matter.
I have my own things I need to do.
Oh, do you? Your own plans and goals? Well, perhaps if you help me, those goals can be seen too. What is your goal then? No reason to lie to old grandmother, is there?
The soldier sighs once again and says, "If you must know, I'm in love."
Love. Oh, what a sweet thing it is to be in love. Love makes people do the stupidest of things. I'd imagine it's love what's got you in your current predicament, isn't it? Is it true love?
Yes, like something I've never felt before. I'm gonna have her do kind of a detect vibe on that. A dread storm begins. All right, so that is a 13, everybody. Okay, we do roll a 1, so there is no horror surge. However, the storms begin to rage hard outside. She also does not draw another card. So I'm gonna roll this D13 here. Permit me a moment, everyone, as I consult. Ooh. Oh. That'll be interesting. Okay. I see what's happening here. Okay, perfect. So, oh, and by the way, sorry, a little admin I have to do here to make sure it's all on my, got this all on my things. 1, and it's from me. It's so fun when I get to have the 13s. It's usually just the players. All right, the thunder rolls loudly outside. She looks up and says,
Dark the skies grow again, do they not? I've just seen straight into the plot. You think you're in love, do you, soldier? And tell me, my brave, wise Mistwalker.
At this point, like the whole place is kind of like shaking as the winds and rain begin to sort of go more intensely against it, and she'll say,
When did you feel this love? When your beloved read you a poem, or maybe sung you a song?
And though the soldier has no face, the silence of the sword tells all. The witch cackles.
A song. Such knowledge you have of the Dreadlands. And when a song of dread's been sung to you, its effects you don't even see. You're no more in love than those fools, dominated by the minds of their masters in the killing fields. No, you, my dear, are not in love at all.
The soldier is growing angry. He says, Shut up.
He says, No, you're not in love. Your feelings, they're coerced. She's playing you. Good.
The soldier screams just in absolute rage. And I'm actually going to... He probably should save this, but he does have a 3 to intimidate. And he has a king on suit. And he's going to play it. As he screams, Shut up. Which gets him to a 16. And lo and behold, he gets a king in return. Guys, this is the Soldier of Fortune's night. Wow. So the Soldier of Fortune, as she's basically... Sorry, I'm writing that down. Emotional damage. Great idea, Sophia. Okay, I'm gonna have him do a keep control draw. Ooh, too bad he just blew his high card on that. He's gonna draw. He's gonna draw this from the deck. It is a 9, which for him is not on suit, but a 9, staying control, that gets him +4 to a 13. That's actually not terrible. So the soldier, I'm going to give him half of that. So the soldier is going, that's kind of, I'm using that as like almost like a resist injury mentally thing. So he is losing only 2 points because, as you said, that was true emotional damage, learning this, psychic damage. So, while our witch, meanwhile, though she was taunting him, because he had a 16 with his 13 plus 3, a 16, she has been intimidated and is no longer taunting the Soldier of Fortune. I think she realizes that she might have been, even in this form, she's sort of frightened as the soldier says, That isn't true. That can't be true. I'm immune to stuff like that.
Well, perhaps not. I'm just an old goblin in a hopping cottage, aren't I? In any event, there's a storm out there. And we'll be safe in here, won't we? I've got magics to protect me, don't I? From whatever it is that's outside.
The cabin sort of actually jostles as she says this, and sort of some goop sloshes over the side of the cauldron, and she, and the soldier kind of pauses, waits, but sees nothing. The witch goes over to the window and looks out and says,
Oh my. Yes, very big things indeed coming to this swamp. Mixing it up, riding it up, and the questing beast goes hopping through. Yes. But now is not the time for that, is it, soldier? No. No, now is the time. Now is the time. For you. To give me what I require. After all, I do own you now, don't I? Freely trading. Yes, for all of goblin kind, your mind is necessary. Your tactician's brilliance, your martial prowess, your merciless, murderous intent.
You think I would help you? No. The way this is gonna work is...
No. Just listen. The way this is gonna work is you're not gonna help me, my dear. You're gonna help yourself. Souls can be removed from the dying and placed in swords, can't they? Which means they can also be placed into bodies. You really think it is beyond my magic to conjure a body?
Okay, now we're talking. If you give me my body back, I will help your goblins.
Ah. Will you then? Of course you will. Of course you will!
She begins sort of like mixing various things and sort of turns around. I'm gonna do a sort of GM thing here where I'm not gonna say what this is, but I am gonna draw something from her. A 4. Very interesting. Not on suit either. She begins sort of a spell and then she begins an incantation. And she says,
Prepare yourself for a corporeal form once again.
He says, "Finally, okay, we're on this. Just, you know. And hey, make sure you can have me in my the last one I had. You don't have to revert to the one I've been using." She goes,
Revert to nothing. A new body you shall have. Ah, kind of body. A goblin body. A goblin warrior, a goblin general, a warlord you shall be for us.
The soldier says, "Stop! No, don't do it."
And she says, "No, I will do it. We require your services, and this way you won't be a dead, empty thing, and perhaps you can watch for us and recover your lady love. I hope she likes goblins."
The soldier is screaming in rage. And though the goblin witch was sort of frightened by him for a moment when he told her to shut up, she is at this point too sort of deep into whatever she's doing, and she begins this spell. The soldier of fortune feels his body being pulled out of the sword. I'm gonna ask chat advice on this. Should he use one of his kings to try to resist this off suit, or should he just draw and see what he gets? Should he sort of, is this I mean, I guess he does want this to not happen. I guess he is deeply trying to prevent this. So he probably would use a king, right? I think he would. I'm gonna go, given that vitality is of less use to him here, I'm gonna have him throw out his king of hearts. So that does get him to, that gets him to a 17 with a stay in control, but he does not get to draw a new card. So basically he is sort of keeping he's resisting this to some extent. But in this context, it really is going to be the stay in control portion of it. In other words, the soldier of fortune is being pulled into this goblin form, but any other enchantments that this witch is trying to put on him as this goblinoid body, as he now realizes that what she's been dumping into this cauldron are pieces of various goblins, brave, notable goblins for many, many years who've had, a finger, a claw, an ear, preserved as some symbol of their power. She's combined them all together. She's making him this perfect goblin body. This kind of strong, lithe, wiry, just powerful, stealthy goblin form.
And
and he cannot resist being put into this body. But he can resist any further enchantments upon it. And with a 17, I'll say he can even retain some. In fact, I'll say with a 17, I'm going to allow him to retain his entire sort of shadow elf abilities. In other words, the bonuses that he receives to his perception, he will keep those, because goblins would have gotten some of those, and they also would have gotten a sneak bonus. Honestly, his sneak probably should be higher for a goblin, but I'm just gonna say he's staying himself. His stats are unchanging. So now my dear friend, the Soldier of Fortune, is now no longer in the gray in these things, as he is put into this body. It is tremendously painful. And probably a bit enervating, so I think he will use a 9 to sort of resist injury on that, which will get him with 13. He won't take any damage, and hey, look, he gets a jack back. Wow. You know, for a short hand, 2 jacks and a king, having already thrown out 2 kings today, is not too bad. So as he's being put into this body, he's screaming in pain, but he doesn't take any more power. He retains the power he has. And he sort of suddenly is, though he could, we said, feel a bit as the sword, he suddenly has all sensation and a more full living form sort of pulling around him. What he no longer has, however, is shadow elf blood. The Soldier of Fortune. He is now a goblin. He probably stands around 4 feet tall. The goblins with a Y in this place, they're a little taller and sort of more slender than like D&D goblins. And as he sort of falls on the ground, I will, as a sort of nod to his vibe, he does have a mustache still. So that's either rad or horrifying, based on your perspectives. But on the ground, as he's kind of writhing there, he's already sort of like standing up, this kind of, you know, this goblin, this he's glaring, and he's like, don't, wait, stop putting me back in the sword, you can't. And she says,
oh no, this goblin you are now. And goblins, unlike mistwalkers, require names. Don't stop. She says, what shall I name you? Kizikis? No. Vinmach? Repfist, perhaps? Oh, he was a noble goblin. Oh, Psychikel. Oh, Psychikel. You do look like a psychic. No. No, don't you dare. Don't do it. I know what I shall name you. I shall name you a word that means warlord. Word that means fighter. Don't. He's like struggling to get to his feet, and she says, I name thee Ond. And at that, the Soldier of Fortune's chances of being a Mistwalker are gone. He is now Ond. And he is now a goblin. The Soldier of Fortune. Kind of, it's like the stomach falls out from him. How could you? And she says, quiet now, Aunt. Grandmother is talking. And all goblins, as you well feel, must pay homage to their grandmother, and must do what they can for our kind, and wait out the dreadstorm in peace and comfort and all this. And he says, I'm not a goblin! And he grabs his sword from the table, and with a swift and brutal strike, he swings for her head. With a jack, plus a fight, that gets him to a 17. But the Soldier of Fortune is not done there. He is also spending an additional 5 power to throw one on top of that. And the one he throws is a queen. So with that, the dread clock advances by another one.
A queen is 13. 17 plus 13 is 30. That is by far the highest roll anyone has had in this. Wow. So that is also... Oh, wait, I have to roll the D13. Let's see if horror surges. No, it sadly does not. But with that roll, the Soldier of Fortune starts a whole new column of horror surges. A queen is 13 in this system. Sorry, giant rat guy. Yes, a queen. We've swapped king and queen, basically. Kings are worth 12. Queens are worth 13. Jacks are 11, so yeah. We did it so queens could be like the big 13. It felt more dread lady. I don't know. It felt right. So in any case, with another 13, horror does not surge. But I'm going to say that with a 30, I'm not giving the witch any opportunity, especially against a dreadlord. Also, by the way, he does draw another card, and it is another spade, so good for him. I'm going to say that with a roll of that high, she does not get an opportunity to dodge. Well, you know what? Let's see if she can beat a 30. She does not. Let's see if she can beat a resist injury. She does not. So, the queen, the goblin witch, rather, he cuts her head clean off after she just gave him a body back so nicely, and then he sort of leans against his sword for a moment and just glares down. But the head keeps talking.
Naughty, 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 naughty. No, but a very, very, very bad goblin you are.
He'll once again say, I'm not a goblin! And then he hacks the head to pieces. And at this point, the house begins to lurch. Those frog legs underneath sort of churning in a sort of odd and off-putting way. The Soldier of Fortune, wanting to get out of here. Ooh, he is going to frantically rush around the room and see if he can find any, I'm going to let him do a look rather than an investigate. So he's going to use his jack to see if he can find any other weapons or things that are sort of useful. So that will get him to a 13, and he replaces it with another on suit. There we go. He's going to... He'll sort of rush around, and he'll be able to quickly find. Oh, you know what he'll find? He will find her. He'll get her gold. He'll get her, her riches off of her pouch. He'll sort of look around. He doesn't care about spell books or anything like that. But there is like a dagger that it looks cursed and crazy, but also like he can use it in a fight. He'll sort of slip that in. He'll grab, like, there are some, one of her grandsons. He'll be able to find some, kind of like a cloak and boots and goblin things, even though he's like, oh, I can't believe this is what they wear. And perhaps some armor, a sort of a simple, stealthy. She would have had good raiment on hand in case she ever had the opportunity to make the perfect goblin warlord. So he'll grab these things and be able to find them without issue with a 13. But as this place is beginning to sort of fall apart, he then jumps out of the window and comes face to face with a massive tentacle that is rising up out of these marshes, for the marshes of the grave have connected over with this. So the current fauna, the current marine life in this place are pretty intense. I'm gonna have him make a fight as he just goes up against it. He has a +6 to his fights. So should we do the 6 or the 8? And Galenorian Saber, to that point, interestingly, the sword that he has that he used to cut off her head, at least when he was I don't know if he can still do it. Oh, shit. When he was a Mistwalker, he could turn that into an appropriate weapon wherever. So, like, it was his giant, assault rifle when he was in places that had guns. And now it's like a broadsword. I think I'm going to use his 8. I think he'll swing big against these things. I think he'll put up and go against some monsters here. That will get him to a 14. He draws an ace, though, so that's the worst possible for fighting. Nevertheless, he will charge out and just kind of like, probably just in a vibe of like I'm like, I'm just in fury. He's just going to just hack and slash and cut down whatever tentacles there are. And with a 14, it does not take him long, but he kind of, you know, sort of as this dread storm is kind of passing, and as these, like, other monsters are probably beginning to give him a wide berth as this one goblin has just come out. He's also probably getting used to this body to some extent. He has nowhere near his just, like, raw strength, but he is probably much quicker and more agile, and since he knows where to hit and where to strike, he'll probably be able to do an equivalent amount of damage, you know, in most circumstances. Even so, this weapon is now, I mean, he's able to swing it. He was made a warlord, but he's, you know, he's not going to have, like, I mean, my God, he cut the witch's head off like it wasn't a thing. But as he kind of just, like, winds up being in the marsh, and she hopped deeper into the marshes, so he is well in the thick of it. As the dread storm kind of begins to let up, and he has spent time cutting and carving. In fact, because this is epic play, I'm actually, and we only rolled a thing here, I'm going to roll a d6 for this gentleman. I've rolled a 6. I'm going to say that he spent 6 hours carving his way. Sometimes I try to do rolls that are a little more like cover amount of time. So we're going to say that 14. Oh, I will, however, make him do an endurance roll. And I'll put the 6 on it. I'll put the 6 on it. That'll get him to a 9. He'll get to draw. He'll have an 8 now. But with a 9, I will say, basically 6 hours pass of him just cutting up whatever is in his way. But he will take, because the endurance was a little lower, I'll say that he did take some damage, so I'm only going to give him 4 back. So he's going to be at 10. In any case, though, as he finally kind of, like, as the dread storm is done, and he's finally just breathing heavy. The soldier of fortune hears voices carrying over the thinning air. Oh, no, he did one other thing, though. Oh, that endurance roll. I'm gonna have to do another endurance roll. Ooh, actually, screw it. I'm gonna have, it's more dramatic for the ace. Sometimes I don't do strategy. There we go. He'll do an ace. No. Better than that, because he won't even get it back. Sorry, everybody. I'm thinking. It's gonna be a pure draw. Pure draw. Here we go. All right. Pure draw. Okay, so a 3, and his endurance is that, so it's a 6, so it's not as bad as it could be. He also does get to draw a new card to replace that with, because it was on suit. So that was the endurance that he's going to suffer. However, I completely forgot. Wasn't even planning on this. Forgot about this with the context of Dreadstorms. Guys, I'm having a lot of fun right now. He was moving through that storm as he usually would have. But then he breathed in the mist, and he's no longer immune to it. He's not the soldier of fortune. He is Ond. And as he's coughing and retching, I mean, he still cuts up whoever's coming for him. He's fine. But he's coughing and retching at the sickly, sweet, coppery aftertaste of the mists. He sort of screams in absolute rage. But by now, whatever things were coming from the areas that used to be the marshes of the grave are gone. The soldier, so I'm gonna actually, that means he's gonna lose an additional, he will lose another power for that, for the mist that he breathed. So 6 hours of fighting, but some banging at whatever, but the point is he's, damn it. But then voices begin to carry over the swamp. Voices speaking the Fantese language, one that he knows, but it's not his finest. And they sort of speak about, he hears them sort of saying, do you think that was, do you think the questing beast did that? Are we close? Another voice says, no, I think that was a dread storm completely unrelated. But doesn't mean we're not close. I wish we hadn't come out here. Oh, shut up. We'll find it. I promise you, we'll find the questing beast. We're destined to, after all, aren't we? And well defended against it. Now come, come, come. And he hears these voices moving. And at this point, the Soldier of Fortune has... Can you guys hear that, by the way? It's like they're rolling something above me right now. It's crazy. The Soldier of Fortune has a choice to make. He's not just going to sit here. He can go after these people. He can find out what they have. He can command them to help him or kill them if they don't. Or, even though he knows an Eloin set and reinforced that the questing beast is a total waste of time, it is said to be able to give people things. Maybe it could make him a Mistwalker again. Maybe it could undo this stupid day that he's had. What do you think he would do? Will he go for the questing beast, or will he go after these people? Here in the heart of the Goblin Marshes. Will he sort of plunder and strike down some folks, take whatever they have? They said they're well defended. Who knows? Or does he wage war on the unfindable prey? I think so Sophia, I'm gonna say he can't do both. This is a if he goes for them, he's gonna, get what he can and then move on. You're saying if he fights the beast, it's kind of like he's in the thing. You say beast? I think beast sounds kind of fun, especially since the goddamn players wouldn't pick up on it at all. So yes, unless anyone has a strong objection in chat. I also like how you said fine. He's desperate enough. Actually, Goblin Saber, that just sold it to me. So, the love spell's still totally in effect, but he also is very sad because he doesn't think that Medina would be into him in his current form. So, here's his hand. Tracking is diamonds, and he does have a king in hand. So he could get to a 15 navigate track. And he gets to draw, because it's on suit. Oh, and he's got a queen! Love it. So, the Soldier of Fortune, who, as a guy in war, the man can bivouac, he can reconnoiter, he can, he's got some out there kinds of stuff. So the Soldier of Fortune will venture into this marsh, seeking the questing beast. I'm going to make a luck roll for him. If there is a trail to find, he'll find it. I've rolled an 11, which is pretty damn lucky. Ooh, I'm also, however, going to make the Soldier of Fortune. This will be interesting. The Soldier of Fortune is going to have to do a sneak roll as he begins to get closer, because maybe it's because he's a goblin. Maybe it's this weird preternatural kind of goblin sense as he's getting more used to, after several hours of fighting, a little more used to what his ears can hear, to the shape of echoes around him, to the way that his eyes, still blessed with the vision to sort of see in dim light and darkness, but different than what they used to be. The soldier will pick up on a trail. and with a 15 will follow it carefully. And he will pick up on times in which it appeared that the beast went somewhere, and though he sees the trail carries on, he knows that's not where it really went. And then with some sort of thinking with that 15, he, probably jumped down there into those brambles where I'll lose hours trying to find it. And instead it leapt over here, and sure enough he goes up and finds the trail again. But the questing beast, it can't be said, does not have a distinctive trail that it leaves. Ask the Knights of the Round Table. So as Ond carries on, I'm going to say that 1 more hour passes without incident. And as he's making his way deeper into the marshes, the water getting sort of colder, murkier, and deeper. More than once he sort of steps with these kind of feet that he's still not perfectly familiar with, and his, slides even deeper into the muck, but he eventually pulls himself out, and he begins to have a sense that he may be nearing his prey. One good indication are the 2 dead elves, fresh kills, sitting among the reeds not too far from here. He's not sure if the questing beast killed them, but he suspects it was close when they died, perhaps during the Dreadstorm. So, as he carries on, at this point I'm going to say that he will know enough to start being stealthy on this tracking, navigating his way through these marshes. He has a +2 to his sneak. So our options are, does he use the 6? Hope for the best. Does he use a bigger card off suit, like the 8, or maybe the Queen? I mean, the queen means he'll be absolutely stealthy, but it could trigger a horror surge, which I'm going to say is a bad thing to have happen. Or do we use like the 6 do we use the 6, which is an 8, which is not great? Do we use the ace and say he doesn't care about being stealthy and he'll just burn through the card? Or we could just draw. I think that tonight, uniquely, he does not. So typically they have the ability to, the players have the ability to discard a card that they have and change it to the suit of their choice. But since I have 3 face down hands, I can't do that because I don't want to look at what's in them. Although 2 of them will now not be drawn because he's taken this option. So, in any case, probably wait until the actual fight to do big cards. I'm going to draw. Let's have him just draw random. It's kind of fun. Leave it in the lap of the gods. Ooh, a 5. Only a 7. So, with a 7, as he attempts to sort of sneak. He thinks that he may have come to, if not its lair, a place where it very likely is hiding for now. And as he sort of sneaks into this area, in this unfamiliar body, his foot slips and splashes like this absolutely deafening splash. And he kind of just winces and says, "Fucking tiny little feet." And then he hears, and I think he does hear. Since he has a modifier to it already, we won't go. He hears much more rapid limbs, like moving and like as if something is. It's something that is. It's a startled animal is making a break for it. The questing beast is running, so the soldier of fortune now must himself. The time for sort of stealth is gone. He's going to have to run after the creature. He has a pretty good move, the soldier of fortune. But I don't think a 6 plus 3, I don't think a 9 would do it. So he could spend his queen here and rush it, but then, as we say, have not much less for the fight. But with a 16, he probably has a chance of catching the questing beast. Although, I'm also going to draw for the questing beast. Or, he could simply draw. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be more generous to this NPC than I ever have to players. I'm going to see what the questing beast has first, and we can make that decision. I'll say that he has a sense of how quickly it's getting away. So here's the questing beast first draw. A 7, that gets it to a 12. So the Soldier of Fortune needs to get to a 12 to chase this beast. So, his options would be to hope he draws a 9 or higher from the deck, to play the queen, potentially triggering another Dread Storm, or triggering a Horror Surge, and losing a queen that could really be useful on suit later. Or he could play the 8 and spend 5 power and draw a card, add it on top. Or he could just draw and hope that it's 9 or higher. I don't know. If anyone out there has a strong opinion on that, I will wait for a moment before making a decision myself. Because this is kind of like this is a somewhat interactive episode. Not full Meridian level, but there's the opportunity for conversation. There kind of are pros and cons to all of them, mathematically speaking. You know what? I think he is going to draw to try to catch up with it. And because then he could always spend points to try to, if it's just a disaster, he could always try to double down and go faster. Because he did get 1 back from that, so he's theoretically has 2 more things. So we're gonna go. Ready, steady. Ooh, 4. That gets him to a 7. If he wants to catch this thing, he has no choice but to spend 5 of his precious power to put another card on top, which is an 8, which is a 15. So, there you go. A 15 beats the 12. And with impressive things still in hand, he is able to catch up to the questing beast, which he sees, and the questing beast is a very kind of bizarre creature. It is there's something sort of, it almost has like the head of a snake, but it also has like the body of like a leopard, but maybe the rear body of more like a deer. It is spotted. There's something, it's both reptilian and a little bit feline. And the head of a large snake as it moves. So as he is chasing after this thing, he sort of sees it, and oh, they say it's half camel, half leopard as well. How interesting. Head of a snake, body of a leopard, haunches of a lion, feet of a hart. I forgot the lion haunches. I'm very sorry. But as he sort of is rushing after this questing beast, as he's rushing after this thing, he is able to catch up to it, and the beast sort of snaps back at him, biting towards him. He needs to make a dodge roll, or a dodge draw. I think he's going to draw for the dodge as well. Actually, no. He has a 4 to dodge. He's going to play a 6. That's going to get him to a 10. Because now he gets a replacement card, which is also a 6, and of a less useful suit, so that's a shame. The questing beast, however, has to strike out at him. So hopefully the questing beast, with its sort of giant boa constrictor mouth, as he kind of catches up to it, lashes out. We're looking for the questing beast to have, it has a 4. So if this is a 5 or lower, he just completely dodges it. It is an ace! The questing beast misses as the Soldier of Fortune has caught up to it, and now he's in a position where he could strike at the thing. So, now it comes to it. Soldier of Fortune gets a +6 to fight. That is over the usual limit. He can actually go all the way up to a +7. He just hasn't in his stats. He's not fully maxed out. So do we use the queen here, or do we want to save it in case he needs to do a big resist injury later? Is he going to just lash out with his weapon? Is it time to just try to cut the head off the snake here? Or is he going to sort of play defensively? Actually, wait. It costs him 5 to do that. You think he lashes out now? Think he does it? Alright, cool. He will lash out. Queen of Hearts. If this is a horror surge, we're in trouble. It is not. He only rolls a 9. But the sweet little dread clock advances to 2. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That is a 19 to hit. Let's see. The questing beast cannot dodge a 19, for it doesn't have a +6 to dodging. So I will simply go to its resist injury, which is a little bit more considerable. Still a 19 is a hard hit. An 8, so it is under the thing, so the questing beast is wounded, but not out of it. It absorbs some of the hit. It's still sort of on its feet, on its haunches. The Soldier of Fortune also does not manage, like, I'll say the Soldier of Fortune, like, ooh, wait, even better than what I just did. Oh my god. Snake, leopard, lion, or heart. I'm gonna roll to see which part of it just hit him in. I'm gonna roll a d4. I've rolled a 2, so he hits him right in the leopard. So that's like, it's like a body shot. It's like a strike to the body. The sort of snake head sort of lashes up. This sort of, the feet sort of scrambling as he's trying to get up. The Soldier of Fortune like positioning himself over it. At which point the questing beast says, "Ooh. Ooh. Big hunter you are, very fancy. Think yourself so noble, so good." And he says, "Nothing about me is noble. If you move, I'm cutting your goddamn snake head off." "Ooh. Think you so brave to strike me down, chase me, chase, it's all they do." "Listen, there's a lot of rumors out there that killing you is the source of a lot of power, and right now, I need it." "You don't talk like any goblin I've ever encountered." "Yeah, that's part of my problem." "Well, if you let me go, sir." "I do, as it happens, have some magic, but killing me is not the way to use it. People simply ask. Although in your case, you're stealing and demanding." "You're damn right I am." "Who are you? Tell me your name." Soldier of Fortune, it sticks in his throat. But there are certain bonds and certain things that he takes seriously. And as much as they want to say, "I don't have a name, you can call me Soldier," he can't. "I'm Ond." "Ond? That's the name for a warlord. What happened to the rest of your pack? Were they slain? I don't think I've eaten any goblins today." "I don't have a pack." "How can you be a warlord without a pack?" "I know you're thinking of running. I can catch you. Now you're thinking of fighting me. I wouldn't. There's only one thing I'm good at, and that's killing. That being said, if you'll give me what I want, and I don't have to kill you, I'm willing to entertain that notion largely because if I kill you, I have no idea what the fuck to do next. Oh, language! Oh. Oh. Horrible goblin. Oh, you slashed me very badly. Right in the leopard. So, what is it you want? Do you know what a Mistwalker is? Of course! Between you and I have a bit of Shadow Elf blood in me, so the mist don't affect me either. Really? Well, I need some of that. I used to be a Mistwalker. But now I'm this goblin with a goddamn name. Ooh. And you want to be something more, do you? The sort of snake face is getting, like, really close to him. He's staring in those kind of creepy reptile eyes. Yes. I need to be something worthy of the one I love. Soldier of Fortune is going to use his 8 of clubs as he makes this plea. He has nothing to charm persuade. I guess he'll intimidate. We'll say it's an 11. He'll intimidate. You have to make me worthy of the one I love. You have to make me worthy of her. She won't like me like this. Oh! You're not special enough, even as a goblin warlord. No. The questing beast. A fucking king. The questing beast says, very well. You want to be special? Oh, well, I can make you special. Yes. And you've already drawn my blood. But to really get some of the magic that I have, the elusive chase, you'll need more than my blood. My blood is on your blade, though, is it not? Yes. And there could be more soon. No. You have enough there, I think. Drink it. You don't need a lot. Drink it? Yes. That's where the magic is. Well, and one other place. Oh, open your mouth. What? Open your mouth. The Soldier of Fortune opens his mouth, and the questing beast spits in his mouth. The Soldier of Fortune... he's got to make... the Soldier of Fortune has to draw for a keep control. Hold on. Because he has a 4... He will... With an 11, he will stay in control. But, oh my god. Also, I say this. And the spitting that he did, it's like a saliva sort of thing, but it's also venomous, and the Soldier of Fortune is already like sort of like choking from it, and the questing beast says, well, drink the blood already. It's potent magic, but you must do it together. And the Soldier of Fortune begins to like he's like it's like hard to see. His like eyes are getting puffy. He's like drinking it. I'm gonna make him make an endurance roll for this, actually. Okay, he has a 5. He only has a 5 on suit. His cards are getting dwindly here. He has a 5 on suit. He has a +3. I'm gonna draw. I think he can do better than a 5. Nope, literally the same, and doesn't get to replace the card. Bummer City. So with an 8, the Soldier of Fortune sort of falls back, and does lose another power as he's like hacking, and like this blood in his mouth, and it also all starts to like fizz in his mouth. It's like pop rocks, and so like, he's like, oh, what are you? Oh, and the questing beast says, yes. Yes, 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 dear boy. Yes. That is what you wanted, after all. Now, some would say the real trick is to eat my heart, and I don't mean my heart feet, but my heart organ inside. But you'll never catch me now. No. But you will change. I'm as good as I am my word. Oh, you'll change, all right. Oh, you'll change. Something very special. And as the Soldier of Fortune is like falling into like, he's like, it's like his face is like frothing and just absolute madness. He sort of like falls into this wetness, and he hears the questing beast kind of disappearing into the marshes. The Soldier of Fortune, Sophia, is weirdly trusting. I think it's that the Soldier of Fortune thinks he's so scary that no one's gonna lie to him. And yet, did the questing beast lie? The Soldier of Fortune writhes in the swamps, losing track of time. His body racked with pain. He has to make another endurance roll. He's gonna draw again, because even a 5, he's gonna hope he can get higher than that. It's hurting him too much. Oh! Buddy. And he's got to make a resist injury roll on this one. He has a +4 to it. Ooh, the sequel. Anything in his hand would have been better than that. Oh god, he only has 4 power left, guys. He's losing 3 of them. Oh boy. He's not in good shape. As he's like, it's like, he's just like this venom is like working its way in it's like his body is racked with pain, and he's trying to cough, and he's like breathing in water and like splashing around in just absolute pain. And he says, the thought in his mind is of Medina, and the thought is, what am I... Is the witch right? Am I doing all of this out of love that isn't even real love? Have I been so pulled? Because I am a soldier of fortune. I am an untouchable, eternal mercenary, here to walk through this world and do this. But now what am I? And the thought he has is this horrible feeling as that buzzing, it's like in his lungs, the fizzing, and it's in his eyes. He can't see, he can't hear. He just, all he can feel is that he's this thing that doesn't fit in this world. He's an idea that doesn't fit. The pain is unbearable. But eventually he begins to sort of see rough shapes. An hour passes. You can see. Gonna have him do another endurance. A queen! Is this coming right now? A 13! Oh my god, horror's gonna surge. He has 2 power. Oh fucking no. Yeah, see? Look at I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Maybe at this thing you'll be able to actually see. Yeah, I see it's a 13 on the... Ah! Oh no. Oh no. Horror's gonna surge on my friend. The worst part is that would be the perfect thing for him to have for a thing, because it's fighting at least. So horror surges. I have to roll this again. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So basically, as he's like moving up in these marches, just like standing up, he has this. What the hell? He feels numb. He starts touching his face. And the feeling is different. Again. Maybe he's just numb from poison, he's not sure, but he begins to feel like his facial regions, they seem... It's not like even the goblins in other places. It's no kind of goblin, Y or I spelling. It's like, it's a different... It's like his like cheeks are more sort of pointed, his ears seem... And his skin, though it's still sort of slick and slimy, it feels just... It's a different sort of vibe. He's gonna... Nevertheless, this was an endurance, so I will say he is at least like he's back up. He's clears it from his mind. He hacks, but then he luck roll. It's gonna be a luck. A 1. He cannot see what he looks like. He can't find any sort of reflective surface. The sword is too covered in muck at the moment. But as he says this, he kind of sees things that are like. There are snakes coming to him through the water. So, here's the circumstance for our dear SOF, or rather Ond. He has 2 power. He has garbage in hand. He is going to... I'm going to be strategic with this. He's going to try to... Oh, no, actually, this will be enough because his move is... So, he is going to use his ace to draw a new card, which is a fucking 3. Nothing useful. He's already spent all his good luck. As he's trying to, like frantic, but now his legs seem even weirder. Even though he's like, what the fuck is... Oh, my God. He's, like, gathering up, the stuff. His armor's no longer fitting on him, right? He's like, what the... The sword feels even heavier. Nevertheless, he manages to sort of get to the edge just as he sees these snakes coming. He's going to have to start hacking at them. He does, however, have a +6 to fighting. So I'm going to have him draw again. His hand is too bad. That's a little bit more like it. So the good news is with a jack, he is able to, with shifting back as he just starts swinging his sword, and the sword is swinging wildly, but he kind of gets the hand of it, and he's like, am I fucking weaker now? I sound different. What the fuck did that thing? And he's, but these sort of things have come after him. He at this point, however, is able to kind of get out of the water. He's cut down a whole row of snakes, but more of these poisonous sea snakes are coming for him. He's kind of climbed up half a tree. You know what? I'm going to have him spend his 3 here to climb the tree, because that will get him to a 6, which will be enough to at least get up a little bit. And now he's got a 10 in hand. Okay, now we're talking. As he's just pulling himself up, he's like, what the hell? Make another luck roll. Please don't be a 1 or 2. I mean, that'd be moderately high. A 10, yes. Slashing his sword through the water has cleaned it off. And as he kind of he's got his sword, he's pulling it up, he's like, ugh. What? He looks at himself in the sword and says, what the fuck? Because now, though still goblin-like, Ond has taken on, one might say, a Henson creature feature level, Henson creature shop feature quality appearance. He is goblin-like still, and he still has a mustache. That has never changed. But the so-called Soldier of Fortune, the once Soldier of Fortune, then named Ond, probably still his name, is something else entirely. Something very, very special. He probably doesn't quite realize or understand any reality-shaping powers he may have. The snakes are attacking him. They don't do good. He just bats them away. He will attack them back. I'm drawing rather than the thing. Yeah, that's a 13. He just the second wave of snakes. He's just like without even looking at them, just as they kind of like are climbing up the tree, he's just cutting them down. What the what? I'm never letting anything spit in my mouth again. The final ones come up. He'll throw out his 10 at them. Why not? Just cut them down, and he kind of in this tree. Knowing that he is now an idea that doesn't fit. He's something that doesn't make sense. I will now let you know that had he gone the other way to find the people, they did have the thing he was looking for to help Medina. They had, like, a helm that would, like, you know, prevent you from going insane by reading dread things. Instead, he's gone from being a goblin to being an arcane abomination. And yet, how will Ond warp reality? What will he do to change things? We will find that out in a subsequent game, methinks. Because an hour and a half solo, no players, is a little more than I can handle. So, never letting... I gotta write down. Poor Ond. Goblin warlord. Now, goblin warlord / arcane abomination. Aw, why does it always do that? Well, thanks for watching, everyone. And if anyone's watching at home later or watching at home, you're all watching at home. Thank you for watching, and if you're watching later, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that I was explaining what things I saw in chat sufficiently to sort of clarify when decisions were being helped with. Solo Deck of Dread was interesting. I probably should not have had hands for the bad guys. I should have just been drawing for the deck for all that, because we wound up with card. Like, then I would have known if he could have swapped a card out, because he would have done that one time when he spent a bunch. Even so, remember when he chopped the witch's head off? I really liked that. I was really happy that was a 30. He's the abomination of fortune. That's perfect. Wow. Well, fun stuff. So I think now I wonder if Medina would be into it. Because I don't think Medina would like a goblin, but like a little goblin puppet, maybe she'd be into it. I don't think she would be. Oh, Soldier of Fortune. Well, that is technically the end of the Soldier of Fortune. Oh my god, I'm going to text her and say the Soldier of Fortune is no more. With no context. I'm texting her right now. Fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. So, here's what's going on in subsequent things. We do not have a game this Sunday on account of Oscar fever. Sweeping the nation. I think this might be La La Land's year. I think it might finally have its chance. We do have a game on Monday. Oh, speaking of which, I think it is so, the vote is so tight, guys. It is, I think Sophia, I think your vote put it one back over for the Lantern in the Gate, but I think the Killing Fields of Jenda Soul is still, I think it's like 8 to 9 or something. I'll count right now. What else are we doing? Lantern in the Gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. They have 10. Killing Fields of Jenda Soul. Yep, 9 to 10. So it's another barn burner with the same thing getting no votes. with the many far wiser than weekend. No one cares about that. Even though arguably that's the most on the rails option. No one's voting for it. So on Monday we'll do one or the others of those. Since we don't have a game Sunday, I'll probably post at some point Sunday afternoon, just be like, hey guys, last chance. It's a close one. It's pretty close so far. I'm sure it will remain close. I think everyone currently active in chat has voted today. So you've done all you can. Then on Wednesday, I really hope we'll be back with Top Flight Tales. I think we should be. I haven't heard of any too many absences or anything, so we'll be back with that. And then a week from tonight, we'll have the players back. So isn't that fun? But thank you all so much. This was delightful. I appreciate you all being here and giving me some advice periodically. Whether he should go after people or fight. I'm also glad that the Soldier of Fortune, it really came down to the wire for him. He's got 2 power left. He's up a tree. He's an arcane abomination. So yes. Oh, well, wait. Hold on. I gotta do all this stuff. Yeah. So if I do... I think that shows you that. And then that shows you that. Not that everyone here doesn't know about it, but go to our Discord, interact with us. Go to our YouTube, watch old episodes. Go to the wiki, read about how it all goes together. Sophia has been putting cool stuff in the wiki, as have everyone. It's really cool. So thank you all. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you being here. Have a lovely and restful if you need it to be restful, or exciting if you want it to be exciting, or a mix of both if that's what you're into, weekend. And until next time, thank you for watching, and have a dreadful night.